I'm gonna trust myself. Oh, I'm gonna love myself. I'm gonna trust myself, love myself, believe in myself like I used to. Oh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 25-8 Podcast, live from the Redneck Riviera in Nashville, Tennessee on Broadway. I'm Keith Kilgore, along with my co-host Johnny Pree, and today's special guest is none other than the John Rocker.
You're right.
John?
The
fucking John.
Yeah. So I can tell he's already been on Broadway, and he's already going early today. So,
Yeah.
John, thanks for being here,
All right,
man.
thank you, Indian.
What I heard, there are currently 3 bars and a few holding that John is not allowed to go into anymore. It's 3 in holding. So your options for Broadway tonight have shrunk. 3 bars are like, yep, not that guy again.
He's been here 2 days and banned from 3 bars.
So where we are, yes,
4.
it's their show. But I'm gonna just step in and interject. We're at John Rich's bar, the Redneck Riviera. Right outside of there is Broadway in Nashville.
Have you spent any time on Broadway since you've been here?
A little bit yesterday. And by a little bit, I mean a lot.
How was it?
You went to the bars that didn't have
There's
Miller.
bars, there's booze. it's like bringing a bar anywhere else. I'm 50 years old, not much of a bar guy anymore. So.
I understand that. Yeah.
I just turned 50. My bar level went to the roof.
You got problems. You got Betty Ford. Yes, I sip my cocktail.
You have her number?
This is not very professional.
You have Betty
Betty Ford's number? Yes, 1-800 something or other. Get your ass sober is what it is. You got drunk. I got Betty Ford's number. Mm-hmm.
All right, then.
You're a good drunk though. You're a responsible drunk.
Responsible?
Yeah, I mean you're up at 8 a.m. every day. On it.
No, this
If it was up to
morning.
me, I'd lay my ass in bed at fucking noon.
Yeah.
Johnny Free.
Yep.
Goes to bed hammered, toes hitting the floor early. On it. Let's work. Let's go. Let's get shit done.
He was up at 6:45, man. I was like, what are you doing?
Very
I
impressed.
know. I looked over and Bobby Cox over there with long hair like god dang. Something from them. What's that movie called?
Avatar?
No.
Oh.
Last
With
of
all
the Mohicans.
with all the gays in it, right?
Oh,
Gays.
man.
You look like a long haired gay. Yeah.
He could be a Mohicans, yeah. Or it could be Tim Lincecum.
Yeah, I did get that a
He'd be
couple of
a
times.
bigger
Yeah.
version of Tim Lincecum. Yeah, Tim small skinny dude.
Hi, Bobby Cox.
Throw the holy show.
So you're the baseball guy. What do you want to know?
Yeah, man. We didn't talk about, you growing up in Georgia, getting pitched for your hometown team, the Atlanta Braves. That had to have been pretty cool, huh?
That was
Fun
pretty cool.
/ stressful.
Yeah.
You know, be careful what you wish for.
You get drafted by your hometown team.
Now, the biggest bitch with that is, back then we had, what I had was, I got to play with making breaks. It was A-ball, so the Sally League. And so I was in high school like 2 years earlier. 3 more months, I'm pitching, professionally for the Braves A-ball affiliate. And man, every game I pitched, just 30 tickets. And this is all my high school friends. Of course, they're expecting me to come out and throw 8 scoreless. Competition, a little bit better. A little bit better. I remember I got demoted. I got sitting down. I don't 5.5 ERA. I was not pitching well. They shipped my ass out to the Northwest League to play for the Eugene Emeralds. That was embarrassing. You had to tell your buddy, hey, what are you pitching in? I get sent down to a lower level because I'm not cutting it in the South Atlanta or the Sally League. And I had to play in Macon a second year. That was 95, 96. I played the Macon Braves. So yeah, that was stressful. Fortunately, by the time I got to Atlanta, I was a lot better. But still, I mean, when being 80 miles from Macon, I mean, I was leaving 15 tickets a night to cheap fuss. You people have money, you get buy tickets, you get fuckers.
Yeah, and then
Day,
I don't think people understand, if you leave tickets for someone, okay, so you make your big league debut. How many people come out of the woodwork say, oh man, can you leave us some tickets?
Yeah.
But I think back then it might have been different, but I know now if they leave tickets like a player, they got to pay the taxes on the tickets.
What else? We had
So it's just
6 tickets every night.
And if you needed more, obviously, one of your buddies.
They've got guys that weren't local, especially the foreign players, the guys and whatever. They had no family. They don't leave anybody. So Eddie Perez, I usually, Bobby Lopez, and I would just bum tickets.
Yeah.
Everybody didn't have family or friends or whatever in town. But I would leave, anywhere from 6 to a dozen every single night.
What about on the road?
Nah, I don't know.
No, yeah.
But then, of course, they want playoff tickets too. Well, this was the World Series. Seriously, do it.
Dang, man.
Wait, a World Series, you cheap ass.
So
Can't do that shit.
the thing,
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know this, but John started off in Major League Baseball as a starting pitcher.
No, not in the minors. I never started a game in the big leagues.
No, but that's where you
Yeah,
started.
as a minor league guy, I was a starter.
Yeah.
So how do you set your mind to go from they're like, all right, you're gonna get moved to the bullpen, because obviously if you're a starter, you have this whole routine, right?
I wouldn't worry about that because it would take me a good, 30, 40 minutes to stretching and the running and the this and that. And as a bullpen guy, fortunately for me, being a closer, I had a routine, and so I would eat 4 Nutter Butters in the first inning. I would eat a banana in the 4th inning. I would take a dump in the 5th inning. I would stretch my legs in the 6th, stretch upper body 7th, and get loose in 8 and pitch 9. I had a routine. But like short relievers, guys that are like, 1-hitter, 2-hitter guys, it may be, you got next guy. Oh shit, I'm sitting here with shoes untied.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Those guys would literally be, 10, 12 pitches in the game.
So,
but back then you could kind of like prolong it to where they didn't have a pitch clock, they didn't have a mound visit limitation. Like you could go out there and kill
catcher.
Man.
Pitcher goes visits. He goes to that. The manager comes out, and you can burn 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But not today. But,
so when did y'all know before Bobby Cox would walk in there and go, did you know who was coming?
oh yeah,
He'd always walk out. So Bobby'd always walk out there and
they called out.
Really?
that's all he'd always
They called out.
Would he not?
Rock you in, or Reminger you're in, or whoever.
Was that not his thing though? He'd always walk
Yeah.
out there.
That's what all managers do. They throw it the right hand righter or the left hand lefty.
What about there's 2 lefties?
They called out. That's
Call down, yeah.
They would never be 2 lefties. So
No.
Who was the bullpen catcher then?
Eddie was in there some. Actually, no, I'll take that back. Eddie was never down there. Alan Butts, who's now a regional scout for the Braves, love Buzzy to death. He's a Noonan, Georgia boy.
Yeah.
Fucking Danny Noonan. And a guy named Bobby Dews, which when I came up through the minors, Bobby Dews was the minor league coordinator. One of those beautiful guys I've ever been around. I mean, just an old school baseball man. Loved me some Bobby Dews. God damn, I love that guy. And, Bobby was like in his late 60s-ish. He would wear shin guards, put his little mask on, and he would catch our asses. It's 68 years old. He wouldn't catch me. He's like, Rock, you throw too hard. Right? But the other guys, he would fucking catch him, but he would sit there, he would hide, and he wouldn't squat, he'd kneel. So his shin guards were basically kneel where his pants dirty. But he would fucking sit on his shin guards and kneel, and his face mask on, he'd hide behind the mitt like this. And if you miss the mitt, right the back stop too. But it's 68. He's catching guys throwing 93, 94 miles an hour
Wow.
with dirty snapdragons and frickin' sink. And yeah, he's 68 catching our ass. He fucking loved it, man. He's getting bruised up, beaten up, short hop playing off the shoulder, and, the big hematoma the next day. Like, damn, and clipped you yesterday. He loved it, man. He absolutely loved it.
So who was the worst person you ever wanted behind the plate calling?
Umpires.
Yeah.
Well, Angel Hernandez.
Who?
Angel Hernandez.
Okay.
He had bad
He was
rap.
worse than horse shit. It's fucking like you can't be this horse shit by accident. It's got to be intentional. Nobody's that bad by accident. You got to be just fucking me, dude. You fucking me here.
Would you ever
Nobody's
go
that bad,
to? Would you ever give him this sign like you motherfucker? I mean,
No, you can't talk shit to the umpires. You can't.
Or they make it about them.
Yeah.
would Eddie talk to shit to him?
That should carry over the mail Bobby. Bobby's job. So I mean, one of my experiences I love about Bobby, second winningest manager of all time. I think he's second winningest behind. Who am I trying to think of? Connie Mack. I think Bobby won 2,502 ball games in the big leagues. Biggest stat though, most all-time ejections Got thrown in 162 games. He got thrown in one season worth of all games.
Wow.
And his fucking life. And it is a great story about Bobby. Well, about me, but also had to do with Bobby. So we go to the stadium, or the airplane or, whatever. And we always take two buses. You got a player's bus and a coach's bus. I always like to ride the coach's bus. It's a lot like quieter. The players get on there and they're fucking all hooting and hollering and shit. I always take the coach's bus. And I took the coach's bus with John Smoltz. There's probably only maybe like 3 or 4 players on the coach's bus. But me and Smoltzy and our strength coach, Frank Fultz, and Glenn Hubbard. If you guys remember Glenn played.
You still working there?
Huh? Glenn is with KC. Okay. I think he's like a minor league coordinator with Kansas City now. We would sit in the back and play poker on the way to the field, on the way to the airport or whatever. And it was never money involved. It was always whoever loses his hand has to do this. It was always some like prank you had to finish.
Yeah.
It was always something you didn't want to fucking do. And so Bobby had been thrown out back-to-back nights. We've done 2 straight games. I don't remember where we were. And so we're on the way to the ballpark. Bobby's been pitched 2 nights in a row. And the hand of poker, as we're pulling up the stadium, was whoever loses his hand has to go up and tell Bobby, see if he can't stay in this game. I lost. And so on the way off the bus, you can't laugh either. You can't know it's a joke. And I was only like a 2-year player at this point in time. I didn't have the seniority. If like Chipper had said it or Max had said it, they'd be like, yeah, I'm a 2-year guy. I ain't got the seniority yet. And so on the way off the bus, you got Smoltzy and Frank and Glenn behind me, like, you gonna do it? He's gonna do it. I had to walk my way. Hey, Bobby, you can't stay in this for the night. And just keep walking. And Bobby's like, is that a fucking serious comment? Fucking asshole.
You know.
And then Smoltzy busts out laughing. Bobby's like, oh, all right, you put him up to it. I got it. Yeah, see if you can stay with your Hall of Fame manager. See if you can stay in this for the night.
You know what's funny is like you can play golf or you can gamble for any amount of money, but to see your friends do something they don't want to do, that's all we used to do, man. You gotta do this. You gotta go to our Travis Sayers guy, Bill Avery. Love Bill, but Bill was an asshole. And he's just goddamn, he's a ball buster. And you have to walk up to Bill like, Bill, did you really book us this piece of shit hotel? So he's trying to book the hotel. Like, fuck you, Rock. Y'all are staying in nice places, yeah.
Yeah. We go
Four Seasons, whatever.
Richard and shit. I'd be like, did you book this piece of shit hotel? What the fuck are you thinking?
So what is the best thing about Turner Field?
I mean, this is a yard. I didn't.
Was the clubhouse good?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. Yeah, I mean, it was nice.
Nicest visiting clubhouse on the road.
Probably Arizona.
Yeah.
Backs,
Because it was new, you think?
Yeah.
Because they started expanding.
Yeah, what was there? 97, I think. Was the first year in the league.
I heard, Wrigley was tiny.
Yeah, Wrigley sucks. Fenway sucks. Visiting clubhouse sucks. Yeah, Wrigley especially. The showers don't drain. And so if you're like late getting in the shower, there's standing water this fucking deep or your teammates full. Jeez, sitting ankle deep and piss and dirt and just whatever the hell's in there. That clubhouse sucks.
Kind of like being in the Galvin.
Fenway's not much better either. It's just old as shit.
They just don't have the room.
No renovations. And really old Yankee Stadium. The clubhouse is okay. They didn't have much space, but they made it somewhat nice. How's it good?
So was the old Yankee Stadium, was it like hair stand up on your arm kind of deal?
Yeah. I mean, that was probably one of the favorite places to play, the old Yankee Stadium, minus the piece of shit fans.
They love you.
Yeah, they did. They were awesome.
I mean, they took
but just the stadium itself. I mean, you got Monument Park out the outfield and then cobblestones and shit. So as you're coming out of the bullpen, going to the gate in center field, come out and pitch. I mean, you're having to be real careful walking. There's cobblestones and you're wearing metal spikes, but it's the bus of, Babe Ruth and the bus of Lou Gehrig and the bus of Mickey Mantle. And you're like, we're really cool. And I'm an old school guy. I'm a baseball purist. And to see that was before you're getting ready to go in and face the recurring innings, really.
I don't know how you don't think people don't love you. They gave you free battery.
They did.
They gave you free
bottles sometimes.
Yeah, free bottle.
Bottles.
You have to get your own car. That way they wouldn't know when you left.
Yeah. One time they stopped the game because some dickhead threw a glass beer bottle at me on the map. And they stopped the game. I heard after.
Pretty good arm.
I heard, yeah, not bad. It didn't quite reach it. He called it out.
Yeah.
But I heard afterwards from I remember the next day on the stadium security that, of course, they arrested the guy. He had an outstanding warrant for his arrest for pedophilia. That's your Mets fan right there.
Yeah.
Pederast is like, yeah. Because I'm being booed by a pederast, and media is taking up for the Mets fans for me talking shit to them. You're taking up for fucking pedophiles, you fucks. Yeah, so good job. Kind of they're doing today with all the illegals being deported in jail. Yeah, the illegal fucking child fucker. You want to stay in the country. Good for you.
You know what's crazy is like all this stuff going on right now in the world. Like last week we had this country's flag. Week before we got this country. This week we got Iran's flags. Like where do these people get these flags?
Well, they're from those countries.
This is buddy George Soros.
They're from those countries though. It's not like probably not anyway. American citizens.
Yeah. I don't think
it's just it's Iranian immigrants for sure.
Yeah.
The only reason they're here is your country fucking sucks. You want to be here to have a better life and more opportunity and, be more successful. But, I guess you still like their country. Even though this country gives you all the opportunities, all the benefits, you're a selfish taker. And you don't really, I think process the opportunity this country is getting you. And the first chance you get, fuck you, America. Let's go Iran.
Yeah.
Let's go Mexico.
Yeah. I don't know.
If you let us the goddamn Mustang, go fucking back, dude. And live a swaller.
Yeah.
I've been to 17, 18 different countries. I've traveled a lot. But most times I've traveled has not been vacation, the hunting trips. It's been winter ball, and when you're in winter ball, there's a resort to it. So if you go to Dominican on vacation, you're staying in a resort. You just don't leave the resort, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm at a Sandals resort or a Hard Rock resort in Dominican, I could be anywhere. It doesn't matter. All resorts look the same. They're in different countries, but they all look the same. You don't know you're in Dominican. You don't go outside the walls of the resort. When you're in winter ball, dude, and you're living in an apartment in downtown Santo Domingo, or you're living in an apartment in downtown San Juan or downtown Caracas or something. I've been to all these places. You have never seen poverty like that in your entire life. We think we have poverty here with the projects and shit like that. You ride through downtown Caracas one day. I mean, and you will see a whole barrio of thousands of homes that are literally like zero landlord. They're bunched up together that are made of fucking sheet metal. It's made of the walls, the roof are fucking sheet metal. And the floors are fucking dirt. I've seen doors that are blankets. Your door's a blanket.
Golly, man.
Yeah, you never seen poverty like that, man. It's not just, it is a lot of the country. In places like Venezuela, places like Mexico. I've been to Mexico, 10 times. I think 9 of those times were on hunting trips, just in backwoods Mexico, where, dirt streets, dirt floors, just extreme poverty. So you come over here, you're like, holy shit. Even the Section 8 is a mansion in Mike 3. And then you want to motherfuck the opportunity to have here being on there. You want to motherfuck it. And go back and live with you guys in sheet metal house. Well, what's wrong with you?
So you're talking about hunting, right? So, you move on from baseball and you retire and you hunt. So how's the hunting in Mexico?
Really good.
Surprisingly good. Were you surprised the first time you went?
I've done wing shooting quite a few times. No limits, no plugs. It's just a free for all. But I went down there deer hunt one time. Me, Ryan Klesko, and Travis Tritt went deer hunt down there one time. It snowed in Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah. It snowed in Mexico, and we crossed the border at Del Rio, Texas. And went through some little piece of shit border town in Mexico. About 15 miles south of that border town, we hung a right on a glorified four-wheeler trail and rode 80 miles on this. You couldn't go over 20 miles an hour.
Oh.
And we were in a truck, obviously. But the road was so bad, you could not go faster than 20 miles an hour, or you're like busting an axle.
That's crazy.
And we ended up being 80 miles off the nearest paved road, drove up to a cinder block building where the lights were just single bulbs hanging from the fucking ceiling with a concrete floor and no heat, no AC, just wood burning stoves. And, every night it was like 55 degrees in this house. So I was like sleeping in my hunting clothes.
Yeah.
Cold. And it's like 6 inches in Mexico.
Jeez, man.
100 miles south of the Texas-Mexican border, south of Del Rio. It snowed like 6 inches. And it was holy shit cold. Yeah, it was, man.
Have you ever seen 6 inches of snow in Texas?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, we had like a snow, everybody calls it snowvid when it snowed real bad and iced over during COVID.
Well, this past year it did.
Yeah.
I live in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida on the Panhandle. It's so 6 inches, it's February, maybe.
Yeah.
By February.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. Like what's happening with the country. Like parts just never see snow. Yeah. Yep. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do, man? So you still hunting a lot? Duck hunt?
Mm-hmm.
Deer? Everything?
Yeah. But,
Pigs?
yeah. Well, I not had pigs in a couple of years, but,
Have you ever done the thermal?
no.
Oh, that's a game. You got to do that. It's a game changer, man.
One of my best friends and business partners, is retired 7th Special Forces guy. And his job is to, Eglin Air Force Base, which is right there at Fort Walton Beach and all that. His job, he gets paid by the FDA to kill the pigs on Eglin Air Force Base. And this cat has got, I mean, and the FDA buys all his shit. I mean, the guns and the thermals and the infrareds.
He just goes
the trucks. It is just,
Fix whatever he wants.
ridiculous setup. And the traps and the cameras. And I mean, he has got some cool shit. And we deer hunt. Actually, we deer hunt Eglin some. And it's amazing. Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. Got some big ass deer.
Yeah, I figure they probably can.
Some 140, 150s out there.
Not everybody can hunt them. Or is that open?
I'm not supposed to.
That's all right.
I go with Cam, and yeah, he'll run these trail cams for pigs. Like, right, look at this old camera today. In about 2 weeks, we're gonna go after him. And I've killed 2 really nice deer out there in the last couple of years, but I had pig hunt with him out there. Because you usually pig hunt like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like to do that.
Shit,
I don't want it that bad.
I pig hunted at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, I want to be like fast in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Have you done a bear hunt?
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
I thought it was bullshit. I bear hunt with dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Run over a tree, shoot in the place. It was like
Don't shine a light on them, though.
No, it was a morning hunt.
Shine a light on them, they'll come after
It
you.
was a morning hunt.
For real?
I would like to do my bucket list hunt. I would like to do will be a spot and stalk brown bear hunt in Alaska. I want to do that. A spot and stalk.
That's your
spot
bucket
and
list.
stalk is legit. That's bucket hunting. My wits is your wits. Hunting a dog is bullshit. Yeah, or a bait is bullshit.
Because people, they do that with the mountain
No
lions.
skill whatsoever.
They do that with the cats, the big cats too. Yeah.
I've done that. Didn't kill a cat, but it's, hunting a dog. I don't know how you hunt a cat, to be honest with you. You can spot stalk that in.
Yeah.
You ever killed a moose?
No, I've seen them. I've never killed one. I've killed a few elk, killed quite a few mule deer.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you
Kill an antelope.
can do that bucket list bear hunt. That'd be cool, man.
Yeah, I've got it set up out there. I just got to get this
Oh, that going?
this walker leg. It don't work anymore. I need to get that thing fixed, boy. I started trace around the Alaskan hills.
What's the walker leg?
The leg that I used to walk with doesn't work anymore. It's more of a limper than a walker now.
We got the other one.
Well, I need 2. You can limit one of yours. I have polio. I use one of your short ass legs.
Yeah, you'd have to put on
One
steel.
like funny shoes. It's got like the
Give me that.
big sole to it.
You see me that?
Yeah. I walk kind of like Bobby Cox used to.
Yeah. Just waddle. Just waddle. Who's your favorite catcher?
I like throwing the hobby.
Really?
I like throwing the hobby.
He's got to be the tallest.
People say Eddie was a better receiver. I like the way hobby's set up. I like throwing the hobby. I did throw to Pudge Rodriguez, Hall of Famer. And I love Pudge. I mean, an amazing player, but Pudge is more about like trying to throw runners out. And so that guy was just putting.
Fastball.
He wanted a fastball so he could have the extra jump to throw runners out. Like, no, dude, it's not fastball count right now, music. Time out. Get your ass out here. But he you know,
What'd you be like?
he had, had a good percentage of throwing runners out. I think because of that, he was more concerned about giving himself the better opportunity. Obviously, fastball is getting a play quicker to break ball is. But he was a career 310 hitter.
Yeah,
amazing hitter. It was incredible. But probably Javi Lopez. They're both Puerto Rican guys. But probably Javi, my favorite catcher.
How tall was Javi? Like 6'5"?
Yeah, he's like 6'3", 6'4". He's a lot bigger than you think. A lot bigger than most catchers. And most guys, they're 6 foot at best.
The story I always
He was probably 6'3" or 6'4".
The story I always heard growing up was Dale Murphy started off as a catcher,
He did.
but he was so
He
tall.
just could stop with the ball in center field.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had a sign with Murph about a month ago. Yeah, Dale, good dude.
they're like
Dale, good dude.
so that they said that he would just like throw over his top in the second baseman every time because Glenn Hilbert was playing second.
And
What is he about 4'11"?
Glenn's this big.
Yeah.
Glenn's that big.
So how was Lemke?
I never played with Mark.
Oh, you
Good
did?
friends with Mark. I never
Who's
played with him.
who was your second baseman?
Brett Boone.
Oh, Brett.
Booney. Keith Lockhart.
Yeah.
Who
was the shortstop then?
Raphael Fakal, Walt Weiss.
Oh, for
man, dude.
Yeah.
And Walt Weiss is a coach now.
Yeah, Walt's had a great career in Nashville, a little bit with Colorado. Walt was a tremendous and Walt's a funny dude, man. A great personality. Fakal had him he was probably 93, 94 across the infield. He had a hose and a good arm too. We get it?
Mm-hmm.
He had a hose and a good arm too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a bigger laugh. Deserved a bigger laugh out of you. It really did.
I thought, yeah.
I deserve a bigger laugh. You never heard that joke before. That joke was fresh on you. I didn't get much of a laugh out of that. Shit happens. It's been better.
Well, it had to be hose and left hand.
Huh?
Hose and left hand.
No, he's got a big hose
I know.
and a good arm too.
I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, never mind. We can't start explaining jokes. They're not funny anymore.
And then Fakal got traded to the damn Dodgers.
Yeah, Rafi, his deal was, he said he was 19 years old. Good Dominican guy, no birth certificates, whatever. It's impressive now, man. Big league's 19, rookie of the year, man. He was actually, I think, like 24. He left at his age for 5 years. Yeah, he was.
So you play with Andrew too?
Yeah, I mean, me and Andrew came up. Yeah, we came up. I was playing for the Macon Braves, living at home at my parents' house. Andrew was living with me and my parents.
Because Andrew was the first player to ever hit 2 home runs as a rookie in the World Series.
That's right. I'll bet it. Yeah. Youngest player. Youngest player.
Yeah.
He'd be eclipsed Mantle by 20 or 30 days or some shit for being the youngest player that ever held them or World Series. Yeah, hit too. Got Andy in the first inning and went the fifth.
So would Bobby really get on his ass just because he would act nonchalantly out there just catching the ball?
He did one time. One time he pulled him out of the game. Actually, I was pitching, and I think he wasn't paying attention or some shit, but let a can of corn drop. And Bobby called timeout and walked out and just to embarrass him. And Bobby's always real good about not showing anybody up. But he intentionally showed Andrew up.
He was mad.
But in that point, you kind of have to, right? Yeah.
But he was
Andrew Jones, bar none, even Willie Mays, even Mantle, even Mike Trout, and Andrew Jones is the best center ever played the game. He was
it was just easy. He would just make it look so easy.
Yeah, but I mean, Andrew, since I was 18, he was 16. Never really asked him, and we lived together. We lived together in Danville, Virginia, which was rookie ball. Lived together again in Macon, which was A ball. But of course, played together for 5-6 years in the big leagues. But never asked him, how are you so good? His strength was, he made all kinds of plays coming in that patented head first dive, like not a side to side, but a head first dive. Robbing singles, but he could do that. He could play. So shallow. And most center fielders, fence 400, they're playing 350. Andrew would play at 280, 300.
Yeah.
Because he was so good at going back on balls. I want to ask, how are you so good at trapping balls, man? Going back in the freaking gaps and shit. And he was fast, but not he wasn't like Deion Sanders fast. He wasn't 6'1", 60 fast. He was 6'4", 6'5", 60 fast. Or that would translate to a 40. And being a 4.5 40. He wasn't running a 4.2 40.
Yeah.
But it's just the jumps he got, and I don't know how to eat that. God damn.
It's just
the times I would be pitching, And I'm like, that's a fucking double. Holy shit, you got that ball. All right, let's fucking go. One out, nobody on.
Yeah.
Guy on second, nobody out. I mean, just give you just a jolt of energy. But it was the way he could go back on balls that would let him rob those freaking, little sinking line drives. Yeah, no, that's why the guy won, 10 consecutive gold gloves.
Well, I do know that you have started a podcast called Uncaged, the John Rocker podcast. Maybe you can have him on your show and ask him.
I don't like Andrew anymore.
Oh,
We're not for anymore. He's turning the comedy.
oh well,
Yes.
then we'll never know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we were at an event in Houston, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 months ago. And it was me and Johnny Manziel and Jose Canseco. Who else was out there? Roy Oswalt was out there. No, there was some names out there.
Yeah.
Andrew was there. And it was a celebrity home run derby. We were playing on the
Oh, Sugarland.
yeah.
Yeah.
On Houston's Double Field.
Yes,
There
sir.
was 10,000 fans there, and it was home run shit, whatever. And Andrew didn't speak to anybody, including me. He walked out, sat in the dugout on his phone the entire time. Didn't say hey to anybody, didn't sign out a single autograph, didn't take a single swing. And when he was allowed to serve my time, got up, walked his fat ass out and left without speaking to a soul.
Wow, man.
Didn't speak to me, didn't speak to Roy, didn't speak to Jose, Antonio Brown, didn't speak to anybody, didn't speak to a fan. Just walked out, walked by, like playing big league game, faced everybody, set his fast at the far end of the dugout, stared at his phone for about 3 hours, was released. All right, your time here served, walked out. What's wrong with you, man?
Dang, that's surprising.
So what was John Rocker's first moment walking out of the bullpen? Very first time in Major League Baseball. How was that like?
You debut in Atlanta.
Yeah, against the Dodgers. First hitter I faced was Todd Hollingsworth. Punched him out a 3-2 fastball away looking.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah, I would say coming into the game, not much memory of that. What I more remember is I've been in the business like 2 days before I actually threw. What I more remember is the day I got there. And, BP starts at 4:00. And I walked out at 3:45, full uniform, and just up the steps of the dugout and was like, holy shit, man. And realized at that point in time, I could get sent down tomorrow, but I will always do this the rest of my life. I'm a freaking big leaguer. And it was just that sun hitting the face, the smell of the ballpark in your nose. You sit at this cathedral around your ass, and you're like, the decade it took me to get here. Fucking A, man. You can't ever take this shit away either.
So when Bobby did this for the very first time, what was that like?
I'm sure I was probably nervous as shit.
Hey, didn't he do this
I'm
though?
sure I probably was. Yeah, here you go.
With that lift? Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure I was probably nervous as shit.
He'd always do that.
But you knew it was coming.
Brought me into
Hey,
to a close
he'd always
game.
be limping out there. Look, he'd always be limping there.
You knew it was coming though that time, right?
Well, yeah,
You've been there
they
2 days,
they
then you
call
knew
down,
like
Rock, get up. And
I'm
then-
gonna throw.
And
Yeah.
then before Bobby goes out, they call down again. Rock, you're in. No confusion.
Was that
And
Pathonic?
they brought me into a close game, wasn't blowout. And I think it was maybe I think we were winning by 2 or 3 runs in the 7th inning. I threw actually my first 9 innings they were scoreless. But my first one I gave up was Tyler Houston in Chicago took me deep, solo shot. And that was the first one I got in big leagues. But that was after 9 score zones. I threw 9 scores without getting a run until Tyler took me deep. My first year in the big leagues, I think I had a 1-7 through like 55, 60 innings.
Dang,
Like
man.
that. I threw, there were like 8 or 9 in the playoff scoreless. So I wrote a really good rookie year.
So only one World Series
Allen went to 1. Yeah, went to 1.
in '98.
Yeah, 99.
I know. '98, you got beat by the Padres, right?
Yeah, and damn old Padres.
It's funny, Morgan Wallen had to write that song of that year. Why did he do 97, 99?
I asked.
Yeah. Oh, you asked him.
I didn't tell you the story yet.
I believe you. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
so.
so, what, year and a half ago, maybe? Right before Morgan won Country Artist of the Year by Billboard, He was playing a show in Atlanta at Truist. And one of my buddies, guy Mike Cather, who Mike pitched the business with us a little bit. We're sitting there having lunch one day, and he's like, "How cool would it be to have a Braves reunion of that 1918 at the Morgan Wallen show in November?" Because he just introduced the song. I'm like, "It's a fucking great idea." And so I've got a buddy who lives here in Nashville that knows the writer that wrote the 98 Braves song. And so I got in touch with that guy, and we put the whole thing together. We had a reunion there was about maybe 18 of us showed up off that 98 Braves team at the Wallen show, even the night before, cause all the Billboard music stuff, they shot a video for 98 Braves. I think at that point in time, the song 98 Braves not been officially released. We're going to officially release it, around the Billboard, show. And, so we went actually the Thursday night before and met Morgan and hung out, were part of the video and yada, yada. And then, so the next night we wouldn't show all that. But I actually talked to the guy that wrote that. I asked that question. I'm like, all the Braves teams that shit the bed, why'd you pick that one? He's like, well, it just rhymed better. I'm like, you could pick the 97 team or like the 93 team or like the 91 team. Wait. The 98 it just sounded better. Like, all right, fair enough, man.
We won't keep you much longer.
Thank God.
If I have a couple of like hard hitting questions,
No, you
rapid fire.
No, you don't.
You can answer as you want. Who's the most famous person in your phone?
Whoever I gave him.
Let's think about that. Maybe John Rich.
John Rich.
Yeah.
What about John Daly?
Yeah, or John Daly. I mean, what genre you're talking to. Maybe Scott Stapp. They're kind of awful.
That's pretty big,
I'd
yeah.
say Scott Stapp.
Yeah. So what's the connection there with Scott?
He lived in Isleworth, which is Orlando. And the years I had spring training in Orlando, just met Scott, got friends with her. Cool. I hadn't seen Scott in a few years, but I was back in early 2000 when Creed was the biggest band.
They were rolling, man. Yeah. And everybody hates on it. I'm like, dude, everybody went to their shows. Yeah.
Scott, hell of a musician,
Yeah.
And actually, he played, trying to remember right, I think he walked on or something, trying to play baseball at Florida State. He was a little bit of a player.
Dang, man.
So,
I know one of the guys from Florida Georgia Line pitched at Florida State.
should be Georgia Florida line, but we're not going to hassle that.
What kind of music you listening to?
I've been really into maybe 70s rock, like Joan Jett, like Billy Idol lately. Def Leppard.
Dude, Joan Jett's a beast.
I tell you who I have a new favorite song as of last week is Jack White. Jack White's, have you heard Jack White's new album?
Oh yeah. Not the
Holy
new one,
shit.
No.
His new album is fucking legit.
And he plays all the instruments.
Love Jack White.
For real?
God damn, he's got such a unique sound. And
He's a Nashville guy.
yeah, I know. Actually, here's a story. I was in Nashville maybe 3 years ago with my mentor, Tom House. This Tom owns a company called Nashville Pitching Association. And so every year in Nashville, they have something called the American Baseball Coach Association or some bullshit like this. It was over at the Opryland Hotel. And there's, 300 or 400 vendors there, bat companies and glove companies and anything to do with fucking baseball, is there. And coaches of all the country are there. And so I showed up, and so our little booth we had, every dude there is like some fat, old, washed up baseball player, me included, wearing Russell coaching shorts and tube socks that are too high and terrible fucking shoes, And,
Did you have the yellow stripe?
So I've never seen Jack White in person. And about 3 booths down is this, I didn't know Jack White was 6'5". He's a fucking tall dude. And pale and this, he looks eclectic. And I just kept looking at him all day. I'm like, this guy's fucking who the hell is this guy out of fucking, he's at a booth. Now, this guy's out of place as shit. You look around and you'll see who is this fucking guy? He looked like a fucking rock star. And so I'm at dinner that night And somebody's like, brings his name. I'm like, man, huge fan. He's like, yeah, he owns part of a bat company with, I can't remember who it was, but it's maybe somebody plays for the Royals or something. Big baseball, it was part of a bat company. He was at the show today. And I was like, fuck. Jack White was fucking 20 feet crying about it. I didn't go say hey to him. I'm like, what the fuck? I sat there and kind of like made fun. I'm like, this guy looks kind of weird. He's sort of out of place here. What's this cat's deal, man? That was fucking Jack White. But I mean, his hair was cut short, like, it was like short as mine. And, I never expected him to be like 6'5", 6'6". But yeah, it was, I guess he's a big baseball fan and owns part of a bat company with I can't think of the player's name, but with a big league guy. So yeah, had a chance to meet Jack White, and
You can't go to a college football game without Jack White playing.
yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, from the racking tours to the white stripes to what he's doing currently. I mean, just, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, he's
Absolutely amazing.
He's rolling, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to take too much of your time, man. We appreciate you being here.
No problem.
Y'all make sure to go check out Uncaged, the John Rocker podcast. For myself, Keith Kilgore, my co-host Johnny Free, John Rocker. Thanks, man.
Enjoy it, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Enjoy it, brother.
Love you.
Yeah, love you too, dude.
I'm gonna trust myself. Oh, I'm gonna love myself. I'm gonna trust